Dear friends, take your book page number 111 and 114. This is the topic here is AIDS, Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. Everybody will accept that this is the most dangerous disease in the world. Almost in all 194 countries, whether it's developed or developing or underdeveloped, you find this disease most commonly seen over there. And many people get killed. Even now, they are unable to find out a medicine, a cure for AIDS. So what is the reason for AIDS? It's a recent phenomenon. It's a recent disease. In ancient times or in medieval times, we have not seen AIDS. We might have seen polygamy practiced in olden days, but now that is causing AIDS. For example, birds, 100% of birds, they live a life of monogamy. Monogamy means single partner. Polygamy is multiple partners. Animals going for multiple partners. But man, even though is an inborn animal qualities are there, even though he is a polygamist, man is 100% polygamist, but we are living in a cultured and civilized world. It is always good for our health, our mind, to practice monogamy. Let us be like birds, eagles, parrots, lovebirds. They choose only one partner. They don't go in for multiple partner. This is the recent research has shown us. So let us live like birds. So let us start this topic here. In the book, what you see is page number 111. In the early 1980s, AIDS has become endemic with serious problem all around the world. It has spread all around the world. Number second point, AIDS has been infected around 8 crore people around the world in less than 30 years. The third point is AIDS is caused by HIV, human immune deficiency virus, which spoils the body's immune system, and this in turn reduces the ability of the body to fight against infection, resulting in the multiple diseases which leads to death. Fourth point, the AIDS was first traced in United States among the gay community. You know what do you mean by gay? With same sex, they do sexual relations, having sex with the same partner. Same sex. Number 5, multiple sex partners, sharing of needles between the drug users, and the transfusion of diseased blood. Unsafe sex partners are some of the ways HIV is spread. So the reasons for HIV spreading is the fifth point. Sixth point, in the beginning AIDS occurred with homosexuals and bisexuals, but now heterosexual members are getting this disease. What is a homosexual? Same having sex with the same sex, and bisexual means a man having sex with a woman and also with a man, and heterosex, it is straight, you man having with a woman and women having with a man. They don't go in for same sex, so even they are getting affected because of AIDS. Women with HIV can transmit the virus to the newborn child. Seventh point, in a developing country like India, the AIDS is spread mainly because of the migrant laborers. India has such a huge population, nearly 1.25 billion people are there, and this disease is spread through the migrant laborers. The migrant laborers are poor people who go out of their hometown for a long time. They come out of their home and almost 6 months, years together, they live outside their hometown. They are sexually starved. They are hunger for sex, and they visit the red light areas and get AIDS. So these people visit various places, and to professional places they go and they get the disease. On their return back, they transmit their disease to their wives. In turn, they give back to their wives. India has a huge migrant population from states like Tamil Nadu, Bengal, Maharashtra and Delhi. So these people, the migrant laborers, they come, they don't have the sexual, they are starving for sex, and they go in for some places and get their disease. So eighth point, the affected HIV patients show no symptoms of illness for as long as 10 years. This period is called dormant stage. AIDS was first discovered in 1983 in France and by United States in the year 1984. The AIDS virus infects the white blood cells, which plays an important role in the functioning of the body's immune system. What do you mean by immune system? To fight against the disease. So the person gets disease for a long time, which the body could have overcome if AIDS is not there. 9. To prevent getting infected AIDS, people should know the risks of AIDS in school and community levels. AIDS is a disease that involves sex and drugs. It infects mostly the youngster. younger generation. Many NGOs, public health clinics and voluntary organizations do counseling and free HIV testing to people who have developed HIV symptoms. So people should have a sympathetic, empathetic. What do you mean by empathetic? You should feel, you should see on the other point of view, others' point of view, and a humanitarian approach towards the AIDS patients. AIDS patients mustn't be treated as social untouchable people. The government should provide more help to AIDS affected people. Monogamy, that is only having one partner, a sex partner, is the only medicine to avoid AIDS. So my dear friends, AIDS is such a dangerous disease, and you should have a good willpower to control your heart and mind. You should not give opportunities for your impulses. So think before what you do, and monogamy is the only solution for this AIDS. So I request Mr. Sundar to come forward.
Hello friends, good morning. My name is Sundar Chandran, and I'll be moderating today's discussion on AIDS, also known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. AIDS, the disease based on the HIV, human immunodeficiency syndrome virus, a virus that was discovered about 30 years ago in actually in Africa from chimpanzees, where humans first contracted it. Today, it's one of the most deadliest disease in the world. About 3 million people die every year of this disease. And our population, we have about 40 million people who are infected with AIDS. Every year, 2 million people get AIDS. Now, how is this deadliest disease infect so many millions of people in a year, in over a period of time? The disease has multiple ways of transmitting from one person to another. Sex is one common form through which AIDS gets transmitted. But that's not the only way. There are a lot of unhygienic conditions which also leads to the infection with AIDS, particularly in hospitals, clinics, where you go for treatments, where an infected needle or a previous person who was infected with AIDS has not been cleared correctly, you could end up infecting with AIDS. So it's very important to understand the multiple ways or different ways in which one could acquire AIDS and how do we prevent it. So, okay, now we know about AIDS. So what do you see? What happens to a person with AIDS? AIDS basically affects your immune system. Your immune system loses its capability to fight disease effectively. That's basically what AIDS does, or the virus does. Some of the common problems you see in people with AIDS are pneumonia is one example of it, gastrointestinal problems, neuro problems. Person with cancer, how do you fight cancer? Your body generates white blood cells which has the capability to kill the harmful or deadliest viruses. When you are infected with HIV, you lose the power to fight cancer, which ultimately leads to the death of the person. So you could see the diseases that you would not see in a healthy human with a good immune system. So is there a treatment for AIDS? Can we treat AIDS? Is there a medicine or a pill or an injection that we could swallow and say, we got rid of AIDS? No, not today. Let's hope there will be one at some point. But there are ways where you can slow down the effect or the cause of AIDS or HIV. But there is no simple drug that could fix your problem. It's a very costly medicine, and in developed countries where they have access to all the stuff, you could prolong your life over a period of 10 years. In a country where you don't have enough medication, your lifetime is limited to 1 or 2 years. So with the limitations of the medicines that we have, what we can do to effectively prevent and reduce or slow down the effects of AIDS. With that, I'm going to open up the floor to hear your points and your perspectives and what you think we can do, particularly in a country like India, where we could reduce the effect or slow down the growth of HIV or virus. I would like to start with you.
1 minute, cut. Sweating.
Ready? Okay. With that introduction, I would like to open the floor to hear your opinions and what you think we as a country in India can do to prevent and slow down the effect of HIV and AIDS, and what you see as next steps. I would like to start with you.
Now I am going to say about some symptoms of AIDS.
Okay.
Symptoms of AIDS are, there are several symptoms. Can I say something? Sore throat, swollen lymph glands, chronic diarrhea, persistent headache, persistent fatigue, unexplained fatigue, shaking night sweats, and shaking a chills or fever higher than 38 degrees for several weeks. Sometimes reduced to weight loss. If there are above symptoms, the symptoms say the symptoms are all person he or she affected by means he should be consulted by a doctor. So the symptoms of the AIDS.